regarding the Securities and Exchange Commission's ongoing implementation of Title VII of the Dodd-Frank Act. As you know, Title VII creates an entirely new regulatory regime for over-the-counter derivatives and directs the Commission and the CFTC to write a number of rules necessary to implement it. Of course, Title VII is just one of the many areas, ranging from credit rating agencies to private fund and municipal advisor registration to specialized corporate disclosures, where the SEC is charged with writing rules. The SEC already has proposed or adopted rules for over 3/4 of the more than 90 provisions in the Dodd-Frank Act that mandate SEC rulemaking. Additionally, the SEC has finalized 14 of the more than 20 studies and reports that the Dodd-Frank Act directs us to complete. And the Commission has proposed almost all of the rules required by Title VII. We're continuing to work diligently to implement all provisions of Title VII, as well as the many other rules we are charged with drafting, and to coordinate implementation with the CFTC and other domestic and foreign regulators. Under the Dodd-Frank Act, regulatory authority over swaps is divided between the CFTC and the Commission. The law assigns the SEC the authority to regulate security-based swaps, while the CFTC has primary regulatory authority over the bulk of the Title VII over-the-counter derivatives market called swaps. Our rulemakings are designed to improve transparency, to reduce information asymmetries, and facilitate the centralized clearing of security-based swaps to reduce counterparty risk. They are also designed to enhance investor protection by increasing disclosure regarding security-based swap transactions and mitigating conflicts of interest. By promoting transparency, efficiency, and stability, this framework is intended to foster a more stable and competitive market. In implementing Title VII, SEC staff is in regular contact with the staffs of the CFTC, the Federal Reserve Board, and other financial regulators. In particular, Commission staff has coordinated extensively with CFTC staff in the development of the definitional rules, including joint rules further defining key product terms, which we expect to finalize soon, and rules further defining categories of market participants, which we adopted last month. Although the timing and sequencing of the CFTC's and the SEC's rulemaking may vary, they are the subject of extensive interagency discussions, and the objective of consistent and comparable requirements will continue to guide our efforts. The Dodd-Frank Act also specifically requires that the SEC, the CFTC, and the prudential regulators consult and coordinate with foreign regulatory authorities on the establishment of consistent international standards. Accordingly, the Commission is actively working with regulators abroad to address the regulation of OTC derivatives, encouraging foreign regulators to develop rules and standards complementary to our own. The Commission expects to complete the last of the core elements of our proposal phase in the near term, in particular, rules related to the financial responsibility of security-based swap dealers and major security-based swap participants. The Commission is finalizing a policy statement regarding how the substantive requirements under Title VII within our jurisdiction will be put into effect. This policy statement will establish an appropriate and workable sequence and timeline for the implementation of these rules. As a practical matter, certain rules will need to go into effect before others can be implemented, and market participants will need a reasonable but not excessive period of time in which to comply with the new rules. This statement will let market participants know the Commission's expectations regarding the ordering of the compliance dates for various rules. Relevant international implementation issues will also be addressed in a single proposal. Finally, your invitation letter requested that I address recent trading losses reported by J.P. Morgan Chase. Our best information is that the trading activities in question took place in the bank in London and perhaps in other affiliates, but not in the broker-dealer that is directly supervised by the SEC. Although the Commission does not discuss investigations publicly, I can say that in circumstances of this nature, where the activity does not appear to have occurred in one of our regulated entities, the SEC would be primarily interested in and focused on the appropriateness and completeness of the entity's financial reporting and other public disclosures. In conclusion, as we continue to implement Title VII, we look forward to continuing to work closely with Congress, our fellow regulators, both at home and abroad, and members of the public. Thank you for the opportunity to share our progress on the implementation of Title VII, and I will, of course, be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Chairman